Hey everybody. So I'm deep in the Superstition wilderness. Parked at the Weaver's Needle Scenic Outlook, but I took off out into the wash and got over here, just kept walking. But this trip here has been, one of those trips that a lot of paranormal stuff going on. And, with the, I call it the Matrix shifted and really set my senses really super high last night, and I sensed that something bad had happened. Like so many things bad has happened to people out here. Like 600 people or something like that has died out here. But before I went any further, I had to show you this. So like, I get out of my car and there's a voodoo doll stuck in the cactus. There's a box of people's crap that just kind of got flung out there. And it reminded me of a time where I saw that once before, where a car full of kids had gone over a cliff, and I was down there hiking where they had went down the mountain and rolled the car down at the bottom, and I kind of got the same feeling. Like I remembered them, and I remember those kids, and that's the way I felt. I just, I get out this morning after feeling like I'm watching some crazy stuff. I just saw so much. I don't think I've ever seen that much stuff all at once like I did last night. But the veil was really thin. I got here about 1 o'clock in the morning, so the veil's pretty thin. But I just, there is a disruption in the energy here. I've been here a lot of times. I camp out here a lot at night. This was a new exploration today to see what was further up the trail. And I really need to come back with a better backpack. And, of course, the chili man is riding out. He's pretty heavy. Little football. But I had to show you this, man. Like, I got this real essence. And so there's a voodoo doll stuck in the cactus when I get out. And it's like one of these you can buy off Amazon. And I sat there and was just like, people are practicing witchcraft off Amazon. The death of intelligence. Yeah. Death of the sacred, death of the intelligence. But anyway, I don't choose to be a part of that. But something just drew me out here. And the dogs are sensing it too. They're on full alert. But before I went any further, I had to show you this. This is like yet another really strange object that I found that maybe it's just a trail marker that somebody put, but I just don't feel like that's what it is. Here, look. So I'm in this wash, right? I'm walking the wash. And then, like, in the middle is this. That's like some kind of wax or something. I don't really know. Paint, maybe. Maybe it's acrylic paint. Pointing to the direction that that's the way out. I'm gonna hope that that's what it is. But, yeah. I'll take you here. Yeah. This is a pretty interesting wash to walk. I walk a lot of washes. Easy way in, easy way out. Not very hard to get, or not very, it's never hard to get lost out in the wilderness. You just have to be very careful and turn around and look at your surroundings so you know what it looks like when you get back. Well, that's an amazing picture right there, huh? Yeah, it's a great day. It's like in May, and it's like 60 degrees at night. Just sleep. And the sun is giving a reprieve out here to everything. And yeah. But it's pretty wild to think that sometimes this thing fills up full of water and just starts. I mean, clearly it's been a while because we've got some new plant life here and kind of old plant life. And yeah. So I get out of my car and I see the Amazon voodoo doll stuck to a cactus. And then I walk over to the trail markers where it's talking about the Apache Trail and Weaver's Needle and all that cool stuff. And there's a poster on one of the poles holding up the shelter. And it is a poster of a man named Cayman, short K, Chay. And unfortunately, Kay stopped out here not too long ago, since I've been gone, with his uncle to watch the sunset out here at the Superstitions, and took off exactly where I'm at, somewhere out here, and disappeared and never made it back. So we got another missing person out here. So, you know, there is a lot of spirit out here, and it's protected by things that are way older than anything we've ever known. And, you know, we're discovering more and more truth coming out. You know, we are in the age of Aquarius now. We're living in truth and striving to be more conscious. You know, conscious of the things that we know as human beings. We don't need church leaders and presidents and leaders of country and nation to tell us what's going on. We know it ourselves. You know, almost everybody has had some kind of experience with UFOs, Bigfoot, aliens, spirit, angels, Jesus. Yeah. But, yeah, so that was a bad feeling I got. I knew that something bad had happened. And then I saw the poster. I'm like, well, there it is. That's what happened. I could sense, you know, the frantic energy, residual energy of police, family members, friends looking. Shit. Yeah. I can't say I've ever done that. Oh, I'm not the only one. Bess is falling down too. I just fell into a thorn bush. Slipped on one of these rocks. My dumbass took off without putting my hiking boots on, thinking that it was going to be a sidewalk. The sidewalk ended very quickly. Yeah, I'm alright. Sure didn't drop anything. A little bit of a wound. I got skinned up. Yeah, that was really slippery. Somewhere. Man. Ow, yeah, that filleted my hand pretty good. Check this out. Because I'm making videos and not paying attention to my surroundings and where I'm putting my footing, which is pretty damn dumb when you hike terrain in places like this, because you'll be the next missing person. You know, I'm going to come out here and camp one night, but I don't want my dogs with me, and I hate coming places like this without my dogs. I feel guilty. But, shit. Yeah, I got scuffed up pretty good on my hand. Damn it. To break out the first aid kit. Look at my leg. Yeah, just like Rocky said, just like in life. You know, it is one of Rocky's famous sayings that he was really speaking to his kids when he wrote Rocky. You know, it's not a matter of how hard you get knocked down or knocked out. It's a matter of how you get up and fight. So it's whether you fall down out in the middle of the freaking wilderness or stumble around in life because something bad happened to you. You know, today and every day, and sometimes I gotta remind myself a couple times a day that I got a life to live, regardless of whatever I've been through. And I choose to not live in that drama, in that trauma anymore. You know, forgive whoever, whether it be yourself or others, because living and hating others, the people that were responsible for kidnapping my kids, killing them, yeah, I'll never get past that, but that's just me as a mother, waiting for karma and justice to be done to those people, which they are so far. There's still a few lingering left, but I just can't. When I start feeling like that, you know, I just come out here, take my shoes off. That is important. I keep saying that. Yeah, see, I don't know what this is. Property boundary. Back into the Superstition wilderness. You can see way back up there. Those are superstitions back there. But that's a big thing, you know, give it to the earth, give it to God, give it to the universe. I mean, even the atheist people, you know, you've got to believe in the universe, because that's real. And I've learned this year and really got it through my mind of some ancient wisdom that the universe lives in every fractal of our bodies. You know, it's the age of Aquarius and the age of waking up. I'd rather focus on these new, amazing, phenomena that's happening. Starting like around November for me, I felt like, I don't know, like doorways and portals of many other places and dimensions opened up right here. And man, some of the stuff I saw last night, I didn't even want to grab my camera because, again, I don't want to let technology or my addiction to capture it on film, you know. Sometimes I just leave that phone alone and live in the moment. But yeah, it's called letting go, you know. Sometimes it takes years to be able to do that, but you can spare yourself, you know, the agony of years and putting the strain of stress on your body. You know, we've already got enough crap to deal with. You know, if you can't manage the stress and the terrible things that are happening to Americans today, the fallout of our, economy and the American dream. Meanwhile, the billionaires are getting rich and leaving behind all the other Americans and leaving them homeless. And I hope you've learned some survival skills, because we're in an age that you better have some kind of skills of how to rely on your resources around you, or take some kind of preparations. Like I have seeds put away. I have a seed bank, a little one, but enough to keep me fed forever if I wanted to. Just little things like that, maybe things that you better be thinking about. It's a lot of things going on, but one thing I do love about these superstitions, when I asked last night, I was listening to Cry On Lee Carroll one night, and he told me to, and I already knew that, but just the way that he put it refreshed my memory. And that if you ever want to know if your spirit guides or angelic beings or other beings from other places that have higher universal knowledge, you can connect with these things. Project Skywatcher is doing this to show you that there is so much more going on, and we have to wrap our heads around it now. Carry On reminded me to just close your eyes and like let your mind slip into a place that's like where you feel like you're almost dreaming. And just pause for a minute and close your eyes, and you can say it in your thoughts, because spirit hears things that human ears don't, or you can say it out loud. To me, I was sitting here all alone when the veil was thin and picking up on these energies, but also I welcome them. I love to talk to the spirit world, as long as they're not malevolent. I don't try to frequent places that are malevolent, but the superstitions are definitely, maybe I'm drawn to all the souls that got lost here. It's just interesting for me to explore it. But he reminded me to close my eyes, and I was sitting out here and all alone. The moon was trying to burst through the clouds, so it was putting that silver lining, the glow of Phoenix, lighting up a few of the face rocks on Superstition Mountain. And you close your eyes and you say out loud, "Are you there?" And you're either going to feel a tingling, at least a tingling, a sensation. For me, when I start feeling spirit and those things that accompany to help you through life, let them, okay? Let them, because you need all the help you can get to survive this crazy, uncertain world. From minute by minute, you never know what's going to happen, really. And ask if they're there. And so I did that last night, and man, did I get a response. So many things happened. Something got into the van, was like wrestling around with stuff in the back, and the dogs were all like alert, and that, that gives me confirmation that whatever it is that I'm hearing is something paranormal, or the dogs would alert me when there is something paranormal or something close. They're they've experienced quite a bit of paranormal stuff with me. But just ask if they're there and see what happens. And don't do it just once and go, I didn't feel nothing. Yeah. Try it again. This time get your mind a little quieter. Maybe find yourself alone in the wilderness somewhere, just not hearing sound, not hearing distractions, not hearing your phone, not hearing anything but maybe music that causes frequencies for spirit to respond in a positive way. The natives taught people this a long time ago. That's what, when they played their flute and they sang them their songs, all the creatures knew that they are not a threat, they are a friend. And I'm telling you, I have spent years of my life out here without a firearm doing just that. They do respond to five-finger death punch in a really bad way. And you can look at the water experiment and check that out, the effects of sound on things. But get your mind quiet enough. Get your mind quiet enough and see what you see. Those things will help you. All right, I'm going to get this. I got to focus on where I'm walking here. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. And please like and subscribe my channel. And I'll keep taking time to do this. And appreciate you watching and sharing in my experiences with me. And always please, comment. And I'm a very busy man. I'm a very busy American that works 3 jobs and still can't get ahead. Seriously. I mean, I am not living out of my van right now because I have a family member that just loves me to death and would do anything to protect me. But there are so many Americans that do not have that. No family to fall back on. All those virtues and values of human beings are gone. Unless you live in certain cultural places like the Spanish people, Latino people, they have a very strong family bond, as well as, people from India. I've seen that, and definitely Native Americans, because they are struggling to hang on to that matriarchal society, But before I fall down again, I better put this thing down, but I'm going to show you this voodoo doll here in the next video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next little clip here of the voodoo doll and the poster. Have a nice day.